Welcome. I'm Christy. Let's take a nice full breath. Third eye chakra, Agnya chakra. So opening up to all the wisdom within us, all the wisdom in the universe. So we're going to try to clear our heads here. You're going to want today a towel or a blanket. So this is a yoga blanket, a Mexican blanket. You want something that's fairly firm, so that not a big squishy blanket, but just like it could be a thin woven blanket or some kind of coverlet kind of thing, or a towel works pretty easily. So we're going to want to roll it up to use it for a supported back bend, and then you can adjust how thick that is. You may also want something over you if it's a little chilly where you are today. All right, so this is going to be a very meditative practice. We're going to work on just clearing our minds, trying to open up that third eye. A yin practice. We are going to hold the poses for roughly 4 minutes. So let's loosen up a little bit first. Come out onto hands and knees. And just round into a cat pose. So I'm having some low back issues the last couple of weeks. So I'm just going to go really gently here. I may not hold the poses the full time. I'm going to pay attention to how that feels. But right here, we're just going to move our spines back and forth. Dropping it down towards the floor. Bend your elbows. Let your chest drop down towards the floor. Then straighten your arms. Bring your head up. And then we're going to round back into a cat. Now just sit back into a child's pose. Let your head come down. Knees can be closed or knees can be wide here. Nice full breath. Let your spine lengthen. All right, come on up into a seated position. So let's try to do, I'm going to grab a couple of blocks here. You could use pillows. Have a little tea here. We're going to do a wide leg forward fold. So we're going to try to hold this for about 4 minutes. So especially given my low back issues at the present moment, I may not want to lean too far forward. So a couple blocks under the arms or some pillows or, anything you can grab if you're feeling like you're not able to lean so far forward. And then if you have blocks, it's nice because you can vary how high they are, so how far you want to lean in. Just try to find a comfortable spacing for your feet, where you feel like you're getting a stretch in your legs and in your back, but that you're not overdoing it. So we want to try to find this little bit of softness, a little bit of comfort in the practice. Feel your breath. And here, imagine that you're just beginning to draw all the tension up and out from the feet. So imagine that we're drawing tension out from both feet, drawing it up through the legs and releasing out through the breath. Start to feel your toes and your feet get a little more relaxed. So with each breath, just releasing, drawing up and releasing out that old stale energy in the feet and in the legs. The sensations of tiredness, achiness, tightness. There may be specific ways that you notice that stress sets up in your feet or in your legs. So you're also relaxing the back at the same time, and the mind. But try to build that sense of energy flowing from the feet up. A sense of ease and lightness, and settling into the feet and legs. And keep breathing, relaxing. And so remember that anything that becomes a little bit too much, feel free to let it go. And then we're going to gently release, coming on up. If you have water or tea or something, take a sip if you need it. And then we're going to shift onto our bellies. So you can put your blocks over to the side. We're going to come onto the belly. Stretching out here. Maybe rest. Oh, yeah, Sphinx feels nicer. So you can rest on your lower arms. Maybe a cobra, pressing into the hands. Elbows bent, pulling the chest forward, pushing your shoulder blades back. And then come on down. Bring hands behind you. So at the low back, interlace fingers, and just try to pull hands away from you and up towards the ceiling. Forehead is down on the mat. And then maybe you can bring the chest up again, pushing your hands back towards your heels. And then gently release down. And we're going to bring it into a half frog. So bring that right knee up, ooh, that's tight, to about hip height. So I will often straighten my leg, move my leg around, and then bend again. You can stay on lower arms, which is often where I like to be in this pose, or you can be a little bit flatter. So especially if you're on a nice comfy surface, maybe coming on down. Breathe. Just see how you're feeling today in this moment. Where do you want to be? And so now, so we moved some of the tension out of the foot and the legs. Now we're going to imagine tension releasing out from this right hip. So maybe there's still a little residual and the foot and the leg, and you're just going to continue to draw that up and through the hip. I'm feeling tension starting to release out of that whole right hip, releasing it out through your breath. Imagining some lightness settling into that right hip. But if that hip is really tight and it's starting to feel like it's too intense, just let yourself release. And so things are not always going to go in just this simple, straightforward fashion. Sometimes as we hold the poses, it can get a little more difficult. Sometimes the body lets go. Sometimes it kind of tightens up a little bit. And so don't judge it, just be in the moment, take care of yourself. Alright, so we're going to gently straighten out this right leg. Take a breath. Maybe shift your hips gently from side to side. And then we're going to take it into the left side. Bring that left knee up to about hip height. Again, finding where you want to be here, resting on your lower arms or bringing your head down. Big full breath. So now starting to release tension out from this left hip. Maybe again there's a little residual still in that left foot and leg. Let it flow out with your exhale. So the breath drawing that stress out of the foot, the leg, and the hip. Letting that left side relax. Now gently release the side, straightening out that left leg. Take a breath. Slowly come into a child's pose. Coming back into a seated position. So that we can do butterfly pose. With butterfly, you want to bring the soles of your feet together. We're going to try to push them a little bit forward, and everybody's spot is going to be a little bit different, so you can play with how far forward the feet are. If it's a little intense, you can try propping something underneath the legs or something underneath your head. We're rounding the spine, trying to just let the head drop down. I'm probably going to prop my head so I'm not quite so low in the pose. I'm going to even do a couple of blocks here. You can always just hold your head up, but I like to let my neck relax. So I think that's a pretty good space for me there. So once you've found where you want to be, take a nice full breath. Letting the body soften. Yeah, starting to feel that stress and tension releasing from your low back. So maybe there's still a bit in the hips. It's going to release out. Letting the low back soften. Noticing any thoughts that arise. Just observing what you're thinking about. So letting any tension release out from your lower back. slowly begin to rise up. I'm feeling like I have a big block imprint on my forehead now. All right, we're gonna gently come out onto our back. So again, if you need a little sip here, take it. And then we're gonna work on a twist. So again, I'm not really sure what my twist is gonna end up being here. So we're gonna come on back onto our backs. Take a breath. Let yourself adjust to being on the floor, on your back. So I'm not really sure I can get into a full cattail pose, but let's see. So if you're going to keep your twist a little bit gentler, arms out of shoulder height, knees come on over to the right side. That feels pretty good for me. If you're going to do a cattail pose, roll to your right, bring this left leg over. And here's where you can use props too. If you have something that you want to bring underneath your leg or your ankle, sometimes that helps to make the pose a little less intense, because then the leg isn't pulling the lower body over quite so far. So let's see. I'm going to do this. And then if you're coming into a cattail, then you want to walk the right leg back and see if you can grab hold of the foot with your hand. I'm not feeling like that's my spot, so I'm going to change it just into a regular reclining twist. So arms out roughly in the shoulder height. So I often will rest the right hand on top of my left leg here, because this hip is tighter, so it just sort of feels comfortable to hold it. But again, you can stretch that arm out or wherever you feel like you're comfortable. Feel your breath. So now starting to feel more of the mid-back opening. And then this left shoulder. Feeling that left shoulder open. Feeling a little twisting in the middle of the back. So letting tension release out from this left side, sort of through the ribs and up into the shoulder. Feeling a sense of lightness coming into this upper left side of the body. slowly come back to center. Just bring your feet onto the floor. Pushing into your feet to let your low back drop down into the floor. And then if it feels right, bring your knees in, rock a little from side to side. And if that's feeling pretty good, maybe happy baby, reach for your feet. And then let those feet come down. And we're going to take our twist into the left side. So if you're doing cattail, you're going to roll to your left, bring your right leg over. Start to walk your left leg back, reaching for that left foot with your right hand. You're going to do a simple twist like I am. You're just going to bring your knees over to the left side, right arm out about shoulder height. Take a nice full breath. Soften down into the floor. And now start to feel tension releasing out from, again, this mid-back, mid-spine, up through the ribs and your back, and on your right side. Tension releasing out from that right shoulder. slowly come back to center. Again, feet on the floor, press your low back down. So just pushing into your feet, engaging your legs to let your low back drop down. And so let your head turn to one side. And let it come back. And gently turn to the opposite side. And let it come back to center. If it feels right, bring your knees in, rock a little from side to side. And again, if that feels good, reach for your feet for a happy baby. Your feet come down, stretch out your legs, reach your arms past your head, wiggle your toes. Big full breath. Alright, so we're going to do our supported back bend here. So here's where we're going to want your towel or your blanket. We're going to roll it up a little bit. And we're going to try to tuck it under our shoulder blades. So a little bit high. A lot of times for back bends we do the prop under the shoulder blades. Today we're going to try it being right across the shoulder blades. So if that's not comfortable, feel free to move it down a little bit lower, make it a little bit thinner. And so now you want to feel that whole upper back, that whole upper spine opening up. So not just in the back, not just in the spine, but also in the front. So letting the solar plexus relax and just feeling how the front of the body also expands, lengthens. And then there's also just this slight sensation in the throat. So imagine that whole throat opening. All the energy really from the solar plexus on up, all that stale, tight, stressed out energy, and just releasing out. And then we're going to try to gently remove this prop. So you might be able to kind of slide off of it a little bit. Maybe roll to one side. Let it come out. Let your back be flat on the floor. And then we're going to do Shavasana. So it could be a little something. Maybe you're going to take that rolled up prop and put it under your knees. Here's where you might want something over you if you didn't already. All right. So once you're settled, nice full breath. I'm just trying to feel how all this energy has lightened up from the feet, up through the spine, through the torso. And then imagine the third eye starting to open. Your eyes becoming more relaxed and softer. And just imagining that space in front of your closed eyes and becoming more and more open. Take a deeper breath. Observe how you are in this moment. Just trying to move in any way that feels good. Moving fingers, toes, wrists, maybe ankles. Stretching arms past your head. Bring your feet up onto the floor. Allow yourself to roll to one side. And then we just want to keep turning a little bit, bringing the front of the body towards the floor so we can get both hands on the floor. Coming all the way up. And just coming into a seated position. Hands together at the heart. Nice full inhale. Release it out. Thank you for sharing in this practice today. Namaste.